interesting thing about RXP-X, the new RXP-X. What I found with the new RXP-X is on glass, the thing's a monster. I mean, it's a monster. It's a Gixxer. It's a sport bike that, you know, is way more machine than a lot of people can handle. All right. Its ergonomics are great. Storage is crazy, especially for like for a hot rod. It's expensive. You're going to pay for it. You're going to pay a premium. All right. And you're going to pay a premium just for some basic stuff like a back seat. And you're going to pay a premium for the adjustable steering and pay a premium for a color and all those sorts of things. All right. But if you want like the rowdiest, one of the meanest machines out there, especially on glass, it's Trick. It's Trick. All right. Interestingly, when I was in about 1.5 to 2 foot chop out on Lake Martin, tail would unhook. And what I meant by unhook was that completely viced, white knuckled pinned, and standing up, and I had my feet back. I was trying to get my weight a little further back, actually probably further. I mean, I was directly over the engine, and I had it at neutral trim, and just screaming along, just boom, boom, boom. I mean, I was never under 67 miles an hour, just and it was just kind of skipping and skimming along. But because it was skipping across the water so fast, it would actually unhook the pump. And that happens. That happens with a lot of new watercraft. Or performance. I shouldn't say what new, but a lot of performance watercraft. They're going to unhook. Cowies, when they unhook, they almost throw you forward over the bars. But it's because there's so much thrust coming out of that pump. And because the ski is so deep in the water, when it does unhook, that means you're in 4 foot, 5 foot rough ocean. So it goes ding, and anyone who's raced a Cowie or really gone rough on a Cowie out in the open ocean, you know that sound of supercharger boost scrubbing off on an Ultra. So that'll never leave you. That'll haunt you in your sleep. But what was funny was that when the new RXP-X would unhook, it would jolt, and you would feel it a little bit. You're like, whoa, okay. And it was just ring, ring, ring. And I was curious, and I was like, okay, well, I want to know what's going on here. And it was funny because, again, I was on an international tune. All right. I was on an RS tune. That's the tune that you would buy in Australia. It's the tune you buy in Europe. All right. So that's why I was doing 73 and change on a GPS. So I'm like, oh, okay. Are we offloading? Are we, what's going on here? I want to know. So I start talking to some of the smartest people in the industry who are not going to share their names right now, primarily because they don't want to get fired. But they said, well, that prop is ideal for the US tune, and it's not going to unhook as much that you're feeling. He says, but ideally you're going to want an intake grate that really hooks, and that unfortunately scrubs about 1 mile an hour off. And so if you put a SCOM unit on with this intake grate, you're never going to unhook, and you're going to be doing 75 all day long until the cows come home. So that was really interesting. And it's just, again, it goes back to the balance of what the hull wants to do, keeping the pump hooked up, and keeping your traction. The nice thing is that the new RXP-X, which there's about 28 or 29 changes that they made from the old hull to the new hull. So the old hull was called T3. The new one's T3R. So one with the shark gills on the side. Anyway, that hull didn't feel as darty, erratic or unpredictable as the old one did. All right. One of the biggest marketing terms and one of the biggest things that Yamaha pushes is predictability. Is that it doesn't do anything you're not expecting. And I hate to say it, but especially the FX SVHO and the GP SVHO. I mean, I've been in the weeds. I mean, I've been really pushing those units before, and it's never surprised me. It's never pushed out of a turn too wide. It's never cut in weird. At no point have those two machines done anything that surprised me. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? At no point did either of those two machines do anything that was unpredictable. The ST3 has been unpredictable. And the only way that I really, really like about the ST3 is the minute you put a set of Pro Series sponsons on and drop those blades down to number 4 or number 5. Number 5 is a little too aggressive. Number 4 I found was the sweet spot. Drop the trend down 1 notch down below neutral, and it will pretty much do everything you'll ask it to do. I have unhooked the tail with the Pro Series sponsons on and a scom with the bow dropped. I never go almost all the way down. The only time I ever go all the way down is with an RXP-X and with a GP. But on the RXT-X that I had, the 300, I was always 1 notch above bottom or 1 higher. But the sponsons with the scom, I fell in love with the ski all over again. I really did. And the Riva Pro Series intake grate totally solves any unhooking issue that I found in cornering on the ST3. I haven't done offshore, but I have done some rough lake with that setup. And that is what I really like on an ST3 hull, is the intake grate, a scom, and those Pro Series sponsons. It'll handle, it'll corner, it won't do anything weird. I'm actually really, really happy with that setup. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. This clip was taken from our weekly podcast that we record here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch the whole video, you can go to the Watercraft Journal's YouTube channel, go to playlists, and then click on live sessions. You're going to see it there. Otherwise, go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and definitely subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. And again, thanks again for watching our videos, and we hope to see you soon.